Welcome to the launch of the fall edition of Founder Fundamentals, hosted by YSpace and the Markham Small Business Center. I'm Alina Ali, the Student and Community Engagement Coordinator at YSpace, and we're so excited to be able to relaunch the series to you all. Our previous session held in the winter last year was a huge success and attracted over 800 attendees from all around the world, with over 22% joining from outside of Canada as well. The quality of the workshops delivered surpassed a 4.5 out of 5 ratings, and we saw so much interaction in each and every session. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce YSpace to those who are new here. YSpace is York University's entrepreneurship hub and consists of several incubator and accelerator programs designed to support entrepreneurs across technology and food and beverage sectors, as well as diverse streams through YSpace Ella's Women Entrepreneurship Program or the Black Entrepreneurship Alliance stream for Black-led businesses. Our programs and services support current and aspiring entrepreneurs, regardless of whatever stage they might be at. I do want to mention that applications are open for our Venture Catalyst program at YSpace, which supports early stage tech ventures. Founders will engage in a free 6-week training and mentorship program to help validate their startup idea and bring a proof of concept to life. The Venture Catalyst participants can access interactive online workshops, expert mentorship, peer support, and startup resources needed to cultivate their ideas into a successful business. You can submit your applications before October 2nd using the link I placed in the chat box just now. All right, and like I was saying, YSpace has so many diverse programs to support entrepreneurs that are completely free and open to anyone worldwide. So I strongly encourage you all to take advantage of all the resources available to you, including signing up for the remaining 10 workshops in these Founder Fundamentals series. I see that Nafis has already linked the website for YSpace, so you can go through all the programs that YSpace offers. Now, tonight we have a really great evening planned for all of you. And in order to get to know you all a bit, please type your location in the chat box so we can see where everyone is coming in from. Oh, wow. So we have people from all over Canada. That's wonderful. Great. A very warm welcome to you all. And we hope that you will stay with us throughout the series as well. The ultimate goal of the series is to provide you with the basic skills, guidance from industry professionals, and the understanding needed to kickstart your entrepreneurial career. Those of you that attend at least 9 workshops in the series will receive an Innovation York Certificate of Recognition after the last session has ended. Keep in mind that you must stay for at least an hour in each workshop in order for your attendance to be counted. Zoom is able to provide us those reports in order for your attendance to be counted, and you don't have to do anything at your own end. All of the workshops in the series are recorded and will be posted in the YSpace YouTube page. This series could not be possible without the help of many people working behind the scenes. I would like to thank Nafis Ahmed, the Entrepreneurship Manager at YSpace. Nafis has worked really hard at the series to source the facilitators and the topics that we have, and he will be in the chat to assist you with any questions that you may have. I'd like to take a moment to thank our partner, the Markham Small Business Center, for providing their support with the series, and I'd like to welcome their manager, Tiffany Mack, on screen with me to say a few words.
Thanks, Alina. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Wow, it feels good to be back. It's been, Alina was mentioning our last YSpace and MSBC Founder Fundamental session was last winter. So this is we're starting again, and I'm super excited. So my name is Tiffany Mack. I'm the manager of small business at the City of Markham. I have with me today Serena Tang. She is the small business advisor, and she will be going through a really great session about how to write a business plan. This kind of content is something that you'll see regularly within the MSBC. We do events and seminars throughout the year, virtual and in person, And we have a bunch of pre-recorded content on our website as well, and I'll put that in the chat, and you can take a look at our website. If you're not from Markham, that's okay. If you're not from Markham, there are 52 small business centers all across Ontario. They're ready to help you with your business plan. If it's Toronto, or if you're in Richmond Hill, I saw some people were from Vaughan. There are small business centers there as well that can help you. But if you do happen to be from Markham, then hey, we're here for you. You can certainly reach out to us, and we can help you with everything from your business plan to applying for grants to your marketing strategy. We have some dedicated advisors here to help you with those topics. So thank you again to the folks at YSpace, David, Nafis, and Alina. Thank you for having us here today, and I hope you enjoyed today's session. I'll be here in the chat as well if there are any questions. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Tiffany. Before we begin the session, I'd just like to go over some of the housekeeping rules. Please keep your mics muted. If you have a question, you can raise your hand or unmute your mic. You can also use the chat box for questions. Now, I'd like to welcome our speaker, Serena Tang. Serena is a small business advisor at the Markham Small Business Center. She has over 5 years of experience building and supporting businesses and business innovation ecosystem. Prior to the current position, she was working at YSpace York University as the Student and Community Engagement Coordinator, where she was deeply involved in supporting the technology and food portfolios and managed students and community programs. Serena, welcome, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Alina. Thank you, Tiffany and the team. I'm very glad to be here to kick off the Founder Fundamental series for the fall session. Today's session, we will talk about how to write a business plan. Just quickly talk about MSBC. So Markham Small Business Center, as Tiffany mentioned, this is a department under Economic Development, City of Markham, and we offer a variety of programs. Just want to add on top of what Tiffany said, we offer Summer Company and Starter Company. So Summer Company is the program offered to the youth who wants to start their company, and we offer $3,000 grant. And for Starter Company, that's for the adults who want to full-time contributed and fully focus on their business. We offer $5,000 grant. So we have more information. Feel free to find the information on the website. Our partners, YSpace Markham is definitely one of the biggest partner with MSBC. And we also have Venture Lab, BDC, Markham Board of Trade, and other partners with us. Before I go into the how to write a business plan content, Alina, would you mind run the poll for me? I have 2 questions to the audience. First question, have you started your business plan? No, I don't have a business idea yet. Yes, I have a business idea and writing my business plan. Yes, I have my business plan ready. Great. I think most of the people, they are having a business idea and working on their business plan. And some of them, they don't have a business plan, or business idea, but that's fine. I think this session will help you a lot on in the future if you have a business idea and plan to write your business plan. Next question. Yeah, thank you, Alina. What kind of business are you running or planning to start? Retail, technology, international trade, manufacturer, others. If you're a service, you can put into others. Okay, so we have over 50% people who selected others. I think probably they want to go into the service industry or other industry. And some of them are retail, technology, a few of them are international trade. Awesome, thank you very much. Okay. So let's talk about how to write a business plan. So today I'm going to cover 6 parts. Company profile, marketing strategy, market research, operations, finance, and resource. So resource part, I will put a lot of useful information and links. So I will show you later on. Let's go from company profile. So company profile, it will cover 4 parts: business overview, current position, competitive advantage, growth plan. So business overview is you would like to briefly describe your business and your company, what it does, where it's located, clarify whether it's a new company or an expansion of an existing company or an acquisition. You will also want to include your mission or vision here. History, it can be optional for some of the new ventures. But for existing venture, if you have a story to tell, feel free to put it into this section. Product and service. So this is a big part and very important part. You would like to provide a detailed description of your products or service. This should include unique features of your products or service. Briefly talk about and also briefly talk about how much it costs and how it's delivered. Some information like that. Value proposition, which means the main benefit that keeps your customer coming back. You may need to validate this through a customer survey or focus group. We will talk about that later on in the later slides. Don't just assume that you know without finding out what your customer think. Ask them directly can be very enlightening. Current position, are you in an idea, validation, or expansion phase? Is your industry growing, stable, or contracting? What have you achieved so far? For example, you have done 30 customer surveys. That can be one of the achievements under this section. And also the achievement doesn't need to be very big. It can be very small, just to prove the reader that you're actually working on your ideas. Competitive advantage. You could analyze your competitors here in this section and what's your advantage over the competition. For example, your products are innovative products, you have a very strong business model, or your company appeals to a niche markets. Business model. This is the key thing, is how you make money. So how to make your company profitable and why you think this is an effective model for your company. There are many business models. For example, retailer, one of the example can be Costco wholesale, manufacturer, the example can be Ford Motor Company, fee for service, usually they charge hourly or based on project based. Some of the example can be legal or accounting firm. Subscription model can be Spotify. The other one is, I think you definitely have some apps like this, use this business model, but the term might be not too familiar to you. It's called freemium. So they provide no cost for the basic service, but they will charge you if you want the premium service. One of the example can be LinkedIn. We have other more business models like pay-as-you-go, franchise, etc. Growth timeline. So this is where do you see your business in the year from now or 3 to 5 years down the road. Milestones. What objectives have you set for a business and when you expect to achieve them? Your goals. You should include your short-term and long-term goals. We would like to hear some big dreams here, but make sure it's realistic. Marketing strategies. Some of the people might heard of the 4 Ps. This is product, pricing, place, and promotion. We also call that marketing mix. They encompass a range of factors that are considered when marketing a product, including what consumers want, how the products or service meets or fail to meet those wants, and how the products and services perceived in the world, and how your products stand out from the competition. Product strategy. So we would recommend you to understand your product before creating a marketing campaign. Who needs it and why? Those are the key questions for you to consider it. What does it do that no competitors' products can do? Perhaps it's a new thing altogether, or it's so compelling in its design or function that consumers will have to have it when they see it. The job of the owner or the marketer is to define the products and its quality and introduce it to the consumers. Pricing strategy. So pricing is very straightforward. It's the amount that the consumer will be willing to pay for the product. You must link the price to the products. You must link the price to the product's value and the real value. So while also considering the supply cost, seasonal discount, competitors' price, and retail markup. One of the example I would say is Uniqlo. They brand themselves as a global manufacturer of a casual wear. And they brand themselves like create low price, fashion forward garments for younger buyers. So when they mention lower price here, they need to guarantee that this is really, their expense will not be too high, so they won't meet their branding. What they did is they provide very innovative and high quality products and make sure that's very fashion forward. Also, they accomplished by having a lower price by purchasing fabric in large volumes and continually seeking the high quality and lowest cost materials in the world. So that's how they keep their price so low. Place is the location. So is to consider where the products should be available. So in brick and mortar stores, or you want to put your products online, how it will be displayed. The decision key is for some of the luxury cosmetics products, you won't want to display, you would like to display it in Sephora or HR, but you don't want to display your products in Walmart or Dollarama, right? The goal of this decision is always to get your products in front of the consumers who are the most likely to buy the product. Fine. And for each activity, we will recommend you to include what you will do, how often, cost or time involved, expected result, and also what campaign metrics you will track. So that's a very complete marketing activities that we would like to see on your business plan. Market research is the key. I will give more information since this is a business planning session, and I know Wispace, they have a lot of videos focus on market research. But just to quickly talk about that, market research, it combines like primary information, secondary information. So primary information is the data that you collected directly by the company. So for example, you create a face-to-face interview, or you create a focus group, phone research, survey research, they're all primary information. Secondary information, those are collect data already exists. You can do your online market research, or you can find those population demographics from the municipal, provincial, or federal government agencies. So Markham libraries, they provide free service and they can help you with the market research. If you're interested in, you can go to the library and ask for help. I think all the libraries, they probably provide a similar service. So feel free to check on the website. SWOT analysis. This is a very important part of the business planning. A properly prepared SWOT analysis shows investor or your audience that you have realistically and objectively considered these elements. So SWOT stands for strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. strength and weakness of each competitor, opportunities for your business that you can do better or differently compared to other competitors, threats that each of the competitors could pose to you if they change something. Do not just work on the SWOT analysis on your competitors. We also want to see the SWOT analysis on your own company. So the chart here provides some of the questions you could ask yourself and some of the information you could include in your SWOT analysis. Operational plan in HR plan. So operational plan is very straightforward. It's how your day-to-day operations looks like. You should cover how you, if you're a brick and mortar, you may like to cover how your day looks like. And under and insurance, you just need to mention like, are you having insurance? Do you have insurance for your employees? Process and production. So how your order fulfilled. Supplier analysis. So like where your supplier is located, what's their turnaround time? Are they trustworthy? You should put more details information. If your suppliers are overseas, is there any relevant trade agreements or border issues with them? You also want to include it under this section. Risk management. What are the potential marketing and business risks, and what's the plan to mitigate those risks in your business? Facility requirements, legal and IT requirements, if it applies to you, you should include more details here. So HR plan. So we would like to see your HR and organizational structure. You would like to give more information on number of employees and contractors in different functions. You may also want to include organizational chart explaining roles and their responsibilities, how you recruit and retain employees and contractors, your pay cycles. Do you have employee training programs to train your employees? Financial forecast. So financial forecast including startup costs and break even. So for startups, this is a very key part. Break even is how many sales you need in order to cover your costs and how long it may take. Sales forecast and also cash flow statements. We recommend you for cash flow statements, you should include 12 to 18 months for the cash flow, including your working capital, salaries, and sales, and your income statement. And for the financials, we have the template on MSBC website. We have also the guidance, so you can find more details there. Some of the suggestions, also the resource. I would say research is the key. Visit your competitor's website. Sorry, research is the key. So visit your competitor's website or go into their stores, see how what kind of what's their customers look like, what's their buying habits, are they focused on female, male, stuff like that. So those could be very helpful for you to do your market research. Interview successful people in the industry. There are multiple ways. LinkedIn can be one of the channel that you can chat directly with people who are working in the industry. Personal connections, if you have some. GLG, which is the new website that you can connect with people in the industry and also book a time with them and chat with them. But this website is not free. Attend trade shows and industry events. We run trade shows many times every year, and we attend a lot of industry events. If you're interested in any of them, feel free to check on our website. Some of the resources you can take away from today's session, including business plan template, financial statement template, market research. I have included the business.marcom.ca. This website will provide you a very comprehensive guide for how to do your market research. And as I mentioned, Yspace, they have great videos on market research. We also have recordings on market research on our website. Register your business. This is a link directing you to the government website. They provide a guide step-to-step about how to register a business. If you want to register a business and you live in Markham, feel free to contact us as well. We can help you on how to register registering your business. Business model, as I mentioned, I provided the list here. So you can take a look which business model fits your company and you can just leverage that information and put on your business plan. Deck instruction. So just in case, if some of you wants to pitch to the future investors or they want to showcase your company, here is the deck instruction here. And if you have any question about MSBC or if you have any question on how to register a business, feel free to contact us. Here is our email, our phone, and our website. So I want to open the rest of the time to the audience if they have any questions or about our session or about our office.
All right, Serena, I think there's a question from Ian. Is the presentation available to download?
Yes, so I have sent Alina a resource page with all the information that you will need for writing a business plan, including all the templates I have mentioned. Yes.
Yeah, Serena, I think the templates are a great place to start for most of the people here. So thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, and also templates provide a comprehensive guide. So if you forget like which part and what kind of information you should put in, they provide a very comprehensive description and explanation. Any other?
Hi there, I have a question. Is it possible?
Go ahead.
Of course, go ahead.
So my name is Mame. I run a non-for-profit. Right now it's a grassroots, and it's a mental health organization that builds capacity focused on Black young adults to adults. And I was wondering, because I wanted to take this course thoroughly, I was wondering what things in this business plan will be different for a non-for-profit.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think for the business plan for non-for-profit, instead of focusing on business model, how you make money, you should focus on like how you would contributing back to the community, and how would you, where you would use that the money you have got donated or get from the community and contributing back. So that part you should be focusing on.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah,
I can just interrupt. Sorry, no, I just, if there's someone, sorry, I wasn't sure who asked that question about the nonprofit, but I can send you some resources about a nonprofit. There's a great organization called Yeti, and they work exclusively with nonprofits. They're free of charge, and they also have a great training session that you can go through as well. So if you want to just drop your email in the chat, I can send you some information.
That'll be great. Thank you so much for that, Tiffany. We have another question from Abdul Malik. How much does it cost to register a business?
Well, it depends on which legal entity you plan to register. There are three kinds, so proprietorship, partnership, and also the incorporation. So proprietorship, partnership, they're kind of like cheaper than incorporation. It's about like under 100, as I remember. And incorporation is about, Tiffany, correct me if I have a wrong number. It's about 200, 300, right?
For incorporation, right. Yeah, it's about 350. It depends on how you want to do that. Incorporation by yourself, and you want to do the whole thing by yourself, then yeah, you would just pay that fee. Some people choose to use a lawyer or an accountant to help them with this incorporation process. So obviously there would be the lawyer or accountant fees that go with that. There's also, again, some other resources that can help you with the incorporation process. There's a great company called Owner, OWNR, and they actually do the work for you. And I think it's a pretty reasonable fee that they charge. I can include that information. Oh yeah, see, look, NAFIS has the information for Owner there. So you can just take a look there, and I think that's one way to go. There are also some government contracted organizations that help you with incorporation, and I'll include those here too. But yeah, NAFIS makes a great point. There's a discounted rate, so for sure, go ahead and check out Owner.
Yeah, and in my resource, in the resource tool that you will get from Alina, I also included the Register Your Business guidebook. So it will tell you the difference between each legal entity and the steps how you register them.
Great, yes. I've already shared the resource pack, but if there's somebody who I've missed, please drop in your email address and I'll make sure to send it over to you. So Olu had a question here, and I believe there was another question. Janet asked whether this session is recorded. These sessions are recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel. Nafis sent a link for the YouTube channel, and I'll post it again in chat. Then we have a question, Serena, from Kevin over here. Do you have any recommendation on how we can get legal accounting advice on starting an international trade company?
Yeah, so MSBC, we provide free legal one-on-one consultation every month. So I can send, you can find them on our Eventbrite page. Let me quickly get the page. And also we have a consultant that work with us. So they provide free consultation as well. If you want to leverage those free services, feel free to let us know. We can share the contact with you. Yeah, and Tiffany, is there anything you want to add to it?
Yeah, so I think the question was about legal or so a lawyer or a accountant. Was that the question?
Yeah.
So it depends on, and certainly in Markham we have our option to refer you to some lawyers here. I would also suggest the Law Society of Ontario. So that's the Law Society of Ontario. They offer free, like a 30-minute free consultation with anyone that will request one. So sometimes they'll match you with a paralegal, sometimes it would be a lawyer, but there is that resource out there if you're interested. And then from there, that might be the first step. And then from there, they might be able to refer you to someone else. That's one way to go. But yeah, if you are interested, Markham, we do have here at the MSBC legal consultations we do once a month, like Serena said, so you're welcome to sign up for those too.
All right, great. Sorry, does somebody have a question?
I see someone left in the chat says they have used Owner and it's a great system. Yes, it's very convenient. Yeah. Is there any other questions you want to talk about or you want to ask us?
There is one question by Nirali.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so the question is there a cost difference if you incorporate provincially versus federally?
Well, so I would say the cost difference, I think if you registered provincially, you need to register again with federally. So there definitely will be a price difference if you do that again. But if you registered federally, I think directly the first time, I think the price will be the same. Right, Tiffany?
Yeah, so if you're incorporating federally, I think it's about $200 or so, and then provincially is about 300 something. If someone might ask, why would I want to incorporate provincially versus federally? There's a few reasons. If you do plan on doing business across Canada and you want to do business in other places, then incorporating federally might be the way to go. Otherwise, certainly you can look at incorporating provincially. I think that's where, you know, owner or a legal resource, an accounting resource might be able to help you decide what makes most sense for you.
All right, and there's another question. Looking to start a restaurant, should we start as a sole proprietor or corporation?
I think both works, right, Tiffany?
Yeah, for any business, I mean, a lot of people start off as a sole proprietor, and then maybe somewhere down the line they decide to incorporate. Some people start off right off the bat as an incorporation. Again, it depends on what makes sense for you. So there's definitely pros and cons for each, right? Some people, I think, like, there's a message there from Colin. It says it's best to incorporate so you don't carry the debt. So I mean, that is potentially true, but I always have to remind people that incorporation is not a bulletproof vest, but certainly, you know, you are creating a legal entity separate from yourself. So person A is now creating corporation A. So there's two different entities. So there are certain liability advantages that are related to that. You know, I think a lot of people will start off as a sole proprietor because they don't want to pay for incorporation. They don't want to do that yet. And that's fine too. Certainly you can do that. So you just have to be mindful that any income that you're making, that's going to be income that you have to report when you're doing your taxes, right? So that income is for person A. There is no such thing as corporation A in this case. So there are certain things to consider. Certainly, yeah, I think NAFIS has suggested there is a legal basic session. I think that would be a great first place to go to get some more information. And then certainly if you have an accountant or a bookkeeper that you can refer to, I think those would be good resources too.
And Elisha has a question. At what point do you have to register, from the time you have expenses or from the time you actually start to make revenue?
Yeah, that's a good question, Elijah. So again, if you speak to any accountant or even a lawyer, they're going to tell you to start, do it right now, right? And I think there's a good reason for that. Number one, just very practically speaking, if you want to open a business bank account at any bank, they're going to ask to see, do you have your master business license? Are you incorporated? They're going to ask you all these questions in order for you to actually access that service. So there is that, right? And then secondly, certainly having a business probably gives you some advantages right away, whether that is being able to write off business expenses. Maybe it's, being able to, have a corporation for other purposes. So again, I'm not an accountant and I don't want to provide advice that way, but I will suggest talking to an accountant or speaking with a bookkeeper to get some more information about that. But certainly if you want to, there's no loss at registering earlier rather than later.
I will add to that, we do have a couple sessions coming up specifically on legal basics happening next week, where we could do a deeper dive on some of these questions around incorporation and the benefits, or, when the right time is. The big question around incorporation is understanding the liability that you have with your business. So, that will be a great session for you to tap into. And then we also do have a finance 101 session coming up in a couple of weeks. So without delving too much into those topics for today's session, I do want to give that as a disclaimer.
That's great. Thanks, Nafis. Yeah.
I see a participant has raised their hands also. Ma'am, is that how you pronounce your name? I'm so sorry about that.
It's Mame.
Mame.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Thank you. I know a business plan is really important for you as the person creating it and your business, so that you can understand for yourself the details of what it needs to make your business possible. But who else are you showing your business plan to? And would you always show them everything? Like, what is the capacity in which you should be sharing your business plan?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So your audience, first of all, if you just started your business, as you mentioned, business plan is definitely a good material for you just to take a look and always go back to adjust it when you are growing your business. Also, another stakeholder or the audience could be like us, like MSBC. We accept applicants from for our programs, and this is one of the documents we ask from the participants. So this is also one of the audience, and in the future, when you're trying to expand your company, investors, friends and family could also be your potential investors. Those are also the audience for you.
Great, thank you. Ahmed also has his hand raised up.
Hello, hi there. Sorry, I just have a question. Do you folks happen to have any resources on co-op models?
On co-op models?
Yeah.
Would you mind give us more information?
It's like a business model, but it's a cooperative.
That's interesting, Ahmed. So I think I don't have any off the top of my head, but I think I can do, we can take a look and see if there's anything we can share with you. You can share your email with us if you'd like, and then we can get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, are there any other questions? Colin is asking a question, are there places we can consult accountants for low cost or free at best for new businesses?
Yeah, as I mentioned, we have accountant work for us. So if you're interested on accounting advice, feel free to send us an email. We can refer you to the accountant.
I think I would just add to that too. I think most accountants would be willing to provide a free consultation with you anyways as a first meeting. So that's always a good idea, just to see what kind of guidance they can give you as you move forward. Maybe you don't need an accountant, for your first year or two. Maybe you can do it yourself. Maybe you actually need a bookkeeper, not an accountant. Lots of things to consider, but I'm sure there are accountants out there that, again, will be willing to give you that free consultation as the first meeting, just to make sure that you know what services they can provide and what you need exactly.
Great, thank you. Emmett, do you have another question?
I'm so sorry. I forgot to ask. Do you have any resources that would pertain to social enterprises?
Yeah, that's a great question, Amit. So, can I ask, are you from Toronto or are you in a different city?
Richmond Hill.
You're in Richmond Hill? Okay, so Richmond Hill did they did do a social enterprise program a few years ago, and I think Vaughan is doing it this year. That's a good question. You know what? Let me see if I can find some more information for you, and I'll get back to you. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, just send me your email, please.
All right. Any more questions?
I'm just going to share one last thing. I think most of you do have those specific questions about starting your business, etc., the legal and accounting side to it. Yeah, for sure. NAFIS has some wonderful sessions coming up that will cover this information. Yes, you can also talk to a lawyer or an accountant. One other resource you may not necessarily think about as a number one place to go is the CRA. So Canada Revenue Agency, they actually have two different resources that can help you. One is a business hotline. You can call, you can be anonymous, you don't have to tell them your name, but you can call and ask them questions and they can get you started. So if it's applying for your business number, they can help you with that, your HST account, all of that stuff. Secondly, they have, I think what they call liaison officers. So if you do happen to have a place of business, if you actually manage, if you're going to be in a retail store, if you're in some sort of brick and mortar place, they will come and visit you, and again help answer your questions you have related to your finances. So they'll help you with that as well. So they're really friendly. Don't be scared of them. They're super nice. So I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah, NAFIS shared that CRA business hotline right there. So feel free to call them for advice.
Great, that's a great tip. Thank you, Tiffany. And Mara has another question, so you can just go ahead.
Thank you so much. My question is, when you're new to business, you may not know which avenue you should be considering, like if your business is a charity or a non-for-profit or a social enterprise, or it should be a strict business. How do you decide that? Like what things should I think about when I'm deciding to write that in my business plan?
Sorry, could you just repeat that question, Mamie? I just missed a little bit up there.
Sorry, it's Mame.
Mamie, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, because I'm new to business and I want to make sure that I'm actually considering the type of business well. So I was asking, what's the differences, and how will I know which business my business falls under, whether it should be a not-for-profit, a social enterprise, if it's a charity, if it should be a business? Like, how do I know that?
That's a good question. I think the fundamental difference between a nonprofit and obviously a for-profit business is that your nonprofit is not generating any profits. What you're doing is you are looking for outside funders to help you fund. You know, when you're going to do fundraising, to help you fund your actual activities. There are no shareholders involved. No one gets there are no stocks or anything involved like that. A for-profit company obviously is different, right? The goal is to make a profit, right? And you're not fundraising, you're not looking for donors in that sense. A social enterprise, and maybe you want to connect with your other, I think Ahmed here, a social enterprise essentially is taking a social cause and looking to have that social cause and whatever activity you're going to do to try to self-fund, so it's a kind of a combination of like a nonprofit and also a for-profit business, except there's a social element to it. So I think that's like the basic differences between the three. No one's saying that you cannot, you have to run a nonprofit or you have to run a social enterprise. I think you can, for sure take some time to maybe write down your business plan. And I think that'll help you figure out which way you want to go. And then, you might want to connect with your fellow attendees here tonight too, to see if there are people here who are interested in a nonprofit or a social enterprise and why they want to do that, right?
Okay, thank you so much.
Does that help? Yeah.
All right. Nirali has a question. Are there any grants for developing tech platform only for research and development purpose? In that case, is it good to register, incorporate it before applying?
I think maybe Nafis, do you want to jump in here about developing tech? Maybe there's something that you can share here.
Yeah, for sure. I'll drop in a platform here that we promote called Pocketed. So they actually allow you to aggregate grants that are relevant to what you're building. So definitely check that platform out. And then obviously there are a couple other local resources. Tiffany, there's a Start a Company Plus program that maybe they could also take advantage of. Maybe you could share a bit about that.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Nafis. So there's a program called Starter Company. You will see it being offered in the other 52 small business centers across Ontario as well. So if you're from Richmond Hill, if you're from Vaughan, whichever, they will be offering it as well. Markham, we just completed our application phase. So we do have our top, I think, 8 business owners that we're going to be working with for this cohort. But what they do get is funding. So they get a micro grant of $5,000. They receive some training, they receive mentoring. And all this is tied into the Starter Company program. So something like this would be great for, someone who's wanting to get their business to the next level. And I will say unfortunately, it's not for someone who just has an idea. You can't just have an idea, right? That's where the business plan comes in. So get your ideas onto paper. Then you can go and apply for these grant programs, or you're looking for financing elsewhere. That's one of the biggest benefits of having your business plan, right?
I'll just add to that, Nirali, if you want to learn, if you want to set up an idea consultation with the WiseSpace team, definitely happy to connect with you there and dive a bit deeper into the tech platform that you're building and if we might be able to help. There's also the Venture Catalyst program that Alina mentioned earlier. I'll drop a link here, which is for anyone that's in the early ideation stages of building a tech startup. That could also be a really good program for any of you to engage with.
So I guess no more questions. Serena and Tiffany, I would like to thank you for taking out the time, for teaching us on how to write an effective business plan. It's such a vital and an important part of starting an entrepreneurial journey. So thank you so much. And I'd like to thank you on behalf of the Markham Small Business Center and Y-Space for sharing all your insights and your resources with us. And to all the attendees, thank you so much for joining the launch of our Founder Fundamentals, and I hope to see you all in our upcoming series as well.